So it's been about 24 hours since we installed our tiles, and so depending on your temperature, humidity, you really want to make sure that your tile has hardened and set before you go walking on it, as well as setting and installing your grout. So the first step obviously is to remove all these little guys. And you can just set these aside. I would definitely save these for another project, or maybe you're not done on your tile. And so once we've removed all those, we can get in here, and you really want to clean these areas out. The mortar can get stuck in here. They sell mortar clean out tools. This is just a putty knife. You can use a screwdriver. You can use anything that will fit in there. And so really what I'm doing is I'm just coming in here, and I am scraping this out. And so the reason is you want your grout to fill that hole and really be able to fill that entire joint, and you don't want the mortar to get in the way. So I'm just coming through, breaking up the little mortar that might still be in there, and then I'm scraping off any areas like this. You just want to be careful you don't nick or damage your tile. You don't really need to clean it, but you don't want to get that stuff into your holes. So once I've gone through this entire surface here, I've cleaned it a little bit, I've removed the mortar from our lines, then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to vacuum it. I'm going to bring the shop vac in here and suck out all the excess mortar, clean up these bits, and then we'll be ready to go. So we just mixed our grout here, and so I'm using a non-sanded grout, and so the texture of it is going to be a lot less grainy than you might be familiar with a sanded grout. And so one of the reasons I'm using this is because it's a little bit more flexible. And so typically with the non-sanded grouts you can get less cracking. And so make your decision based on your tile spacing as well. You can use sanded grout as well. It comes in a bigger bag and it's significantly less expensive. This comes in a pretty small bag, and the cost you're paying for it. So my next tool here is the float, and so this is pretty rubbery material right here, and this is what I'm going to use to actually spread the grout into the cracks. And so this particular one has a rounded edge, and then it has kind of the square edge right there, and you can use this rounded edge for corners or anything like that where you actually want to leave some material behind. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to get in here and we're going to apply the grout almost with like a 45-degree angle on our trowel, and then we're really just going to wipe it back up with like a 90-degree angle. And so I'm going to start by applying this, and I'm going to get it, you really want to smush it into the cracks and make sure that all of it's going in and that you're filling that entire hole. So here we go. There I am with my 45-degree. So then when I want to wipe it off, I come in steeper and I come in almost at 90 degrees to wipe off the excess. So you're going to do this to your entire floor. Like I said, work your way back to an area where you won't get caught. And then you're going to wait about 10 to 20 minutes, and it's going to harden a little bit. And then what you're going to do is come back. We have a wet sponge right here. You just want to get this damp. And then what you're going to do is you're going to clean up. As you can see, there is quite a bit of grout that is left. You're going to come in and we're going to clean up a little bit. You don't want to get your floor soaking wet though. This is really just a cleaning tool, just to remove any of the leftover grout. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes, and as you can see, like, we have the grout hazing up a little bit, and so that's essentially what you're going to look for is any of the grout starting to haze and dry out. So, like I said, we have our sponge here, we got our clean water, not going to stay clean for very long, But go ahead and dry this out. So we just have a damp sponge. We're just going to work it over these areas. And so kind of doing two things. We're cleaning up those areas where there's extra grout. Cleaning that up, and then we're kind of going over the lines a little bit, and we can smooth out those grout lines. It's almost like taking your finger in the grout line and kind of drawing it smooth. And so basically clean the whole floor up, and if you need to, wring and clean this out. At this point, you really want to try to remove a lot of this haze here. That being said, you don't want to get the floor soaking wet. I really am wringing this out really well. Clean this area up. And then, like I said, yeah, this is where I'm coming over those grout lines, kind of smoothing it out. Really nice. Okay, so I'm going to finish cleaning this up, and then after, typically you want to wait anywhere from 1 to 2 hours and then come back over and do it once again. And so you can use the sponge again. Some people also recommending using this cheesecloth, and so the floor will haze up a little bit more. And the cheesecloth is almost like a polisher or something like that. It has a little bit more of a texture to it, and so you can come back with the cheesecloth and with the floor a little bit wet and remove the last bit of it. And so just keep in mind, the biggest thing you're looking for, if it continues to haze up, if you're like after 1, 2, 3 washings, it doesn't, it continues to haze up, then you're just going to want to clean it again until it stops hazing. And so those are kind of the biggest things. And so after we finish this, we're going to talk about sealer.
Thanks for watching our video. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can get updated on all our newest videos. Also, go ahead and click the links below so you can see our social media profiles as well as our website.